Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
Police announced an arrest in connection to the alleged kidnapping and sexual assault of a 2-year-old girl in Gardena.
The family of an Orange County woman missing for more than 2 months is now offering a reward for her return, saying they still haven't given up hope.
Authorities in Paris break up a plot to attack French churches. They say it's part of radical Islam's campaign against Christians. Good evening. I'm Rudabe Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan.
I'm David Ono. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. A Torrance man is in custody facing charges in the kidnapping and sexual assault of a 2-year-old girl from a Gardena car wash earlier this month. Investigators today also released the 911 calls from the child's mother. Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride is live in Gardena with the details and the 911 call. Melissa?
David, 36-year-old Michael Eichler of Torrance is behind bars. His bail is set at $1 million. Police say he's the man who kidnapped and then sexually assaulted a 2-year-old girl. On April 2nd, police say a toddler was kidnapped from this self-serve car wash in Gardena. When her mother realized her daughter was gone, she made a frantic call to 911.
911, how may I help you?
Yeah, 911, I just lost my baby. I was in the car wash and I can't find her.
You lost your baby?
Yes, I did. We were at the car wash and she ran. I have no idea where she went. I just took my eyes off her for like 2 minutes.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, where are you?
In Gardena.
Ma'am, can you take a deep breath for me so I can get the police out there to help you?
Police began searching for the missing 2-year-old girl and looking for this white Nissan Altima seen on surveillance video driving behind the car wash. The toddler was found in a restaurant parking lot about 2 hours later in Cudahy. Police say she had been sexually assaulted by her kidnapper.
Michael David Eichler is from the city of Torrance. He's 36 years old. He is currently still in custody.
Eichler was arrested about a week after the abduction. Detectives say 2 witnesses recognized him from the car wash, and there's also DNA evidence they say linked him to the crime.
Scientific evidence has come in, including DNA, that has linked him to the crime. So we're very confident that he is the person that did this to this little girl.
Police say Eichler tried to disguise his car by taking the license plates off and removing the window tinting. But a citizen reported seeing the car and called police because it looked like the Altima shown in news reports.
That absolutely led to his arrest. And if it had not been for that person on Easter Sunday to call us and let us know, we may not have found him.
Gardena police are not releasing Eichler's booking photo. They say if other witnesses come forward from the car wash, they want to make sure that they'll be able to pick him out of a photo lineup. Live in Gardena, I'm Melissa McBride, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Melissa, thank you. A search is underway for 3 suspects accused of murdering a man just steps away from a popular tourist area. It happened just before 9 this morning in a parking lot in the 1700 block of Cherokee Avenue in Hollywood. This is near Hollywood Boulevard. Investigators say the man was stabbed to death after some type of confrontation. The victim was in his mid-20s.
I'm scared. It's a scary world that we live in. And I'm here with my sister having a nice lunch.
The suspects were last seen in a stolen brown Ford F-150 truck with North Carolina license plate CLJ5472. And LAPD detectives are investigating a deadly shooting in Palms. Air 7 HD was live over the scene on the 3300 block of Mentone. Investigators say the male victim was struck by a single bullet in an alley. Police say the suspect may have fled the scene in a Dodge Ram pickup truck. The victim's name has not yet been made public. Investigators say the shooting may be gang-related.
Charges have been formally dismissed against the longest-serving, wrongfully imprisoned inmate in California history. Today, a Ventura County judge dropped the case against 69-year-old Michael Hanline. He served 34 years of a life sentence for murder. He was freed last year after the Innocence Project pushed prosecutors to re-examine evidence. He was convicted in 1980 of killing J.T. McGrary of Ventura, but new tests showed DNA at the scene did not come from Hanline.
She disappeared after a date on Valentine's Day and hasn't been heard from since. Now the family of a 27-year-old, Erica Alonzo, is offering a reward for her return. Orange County Bureau Chief Eileen Frere spoke with the missing woman's brother.
I have my good days and my bad days.
For more than 2 months, Isaac Alonso Jr. and his family have searched for his 27-year-old sister, Erica.
You know, most days I'm optimistic, and I'm very hopeful that we're going to find her back safe.
Last month, her Honda Civic turned up in an Aliso Viejo neighborhood about a mile from her home in Laguna Hills. Authorities say they found no useful evidence inside. Her family is now offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to her safe return.
We're hoping that this will spark something new.
Her family says Erica met her former boyfriend for lunch on Valentine's Day. The date lasted into the evening. They befriended another couple at the Sutra Lounge in Costa Mesa. 1:30 in the morning, the four went back to the Irvine home of Alonso's ex. Authorities say Alonso got into a verbal fight with him. Before 4 o'clock in the morning, the other couple left, and shortly after, so did Alonso. Since then, investigators say there's been no activity on her bank accounts or her cell phone, and she has not been on social media, which her family calls unusual.
Erica's a very outgoing person, you know. She loves to hang out with. She has tons and tons of friends. Erica is definitely not the kind of person to just go out and you know, not contact with anybody.
Her brother hopes you take a close look at her photo. She's 5'3" and 110 pounds.
We're hopeful that wherever she is, she's safe, and you know, we're simply just trying to do our best to do everything we can to make sure she comes back.
Now, if you have any information, call Orange County Crime Stoppers at 1-855-TIP-OCCS. You can give information anonymously. As for the $5,000 reward being offered by the family for information leading to her safe return, we're told that $2,000 of that came from an Orange County Sheriff's Reserve deputy who wished to remain anonymous. In Aliso Viejo, Eileen Frere, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The California Senate Education Committee voted today to approve a bill that would require school children in the state to be vaccinated. The proposal would ban parents from seeking vaccine exemptions for their kids because of religious or personal beliefs. Unvaccinated children would not be able to attend public or private schools. Medical waivers would only be available for students with health problems. The bill now heads to the Senate Judiciary Committee for a hearing next week.
Southern California could see more than one so-called big one. That's according to new research released today. The study presented by USC Earth Sciences professor James Dolan suggests the big one expected on the San Andreas Fault could trigger additional large earthquakes on nearby faults, intensifying the overall impact. A true big one is an earthquake greater than a 7.7. Southern California hasn't had one that big since 1857.
Well, take a look at this. More wild local weather, this time a hailstorm in Juniper Hills. Eyewitness News viewer Nancy Scovola-Lukex sent this to us via our Facebook page.
In the meantime, let's talk to Jonathan Novak about our weather. There were some clouds out there earlier today. Jonathan, still out there?
Yeah, we've got some clouds, David, some showers, even a storm or two to the north of us. It's not as busy in regard to storm activity today as it was yesterday, but still around the mountains and the northern portions of the area around Fraser Park, we have seen some showers around Southern California. Right now, some snow as we bring it to the current image around Big Bear, even some rain that extends just to the north and over toward Wrightwood as well. Nothing too heavy. We head over west toward, like I said, Fraser Park, and we have a little lightning just northeast of that area and some light rain that is drifting slowly towards Santa Barbara. I don't know if it's really going to make it there because it's pretty much starting to fizzle out as we speak right now. Now, tonight, maybe a few showers in some of the mountain areas and up in the northern counties. Tomorrow, I think, out of yesterday, today, and tomorrow will be the best day in terms of the chance of some showers and storms forming. I'll detail when things start warming back up in that forecast coming up in the 7 days.
All right, Jonathan, thank you.
Sure.
French police have arrested a suspected Islamic radical with ties to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They say he was heavily armed and plotting to attack French churches, but he was prevented from opening fire on churchgoers only because he accidentally shot himself in the leg and then called for an ambulance.
French authorities say the 24-year-old computer science student was waiting outside his apartment building for first aid when police arrived. They followed a trail of blood to his car, which contained loaded guns and notes about potential targets. A search of his Paris apartment turned up written material about ISIS and Al-Qaeda, Kalashnikov assault rifles, ammunition, a bulletproof vest, and cash, along with phones and computers that showed he'd been in communication with someone who could have been in Syria.
This individual was in contact with another person who may be in Syria, with whom he exchanged information on the arrangements for commission of an attack.
Authorities say that person explicitly asked him to target a church in what could have been a Charlie Hebdo-type massacre. The foiled plot comes as extremists have targeted Christians in the Middle East and Africa. France's interior minister says the Algerian, who has been living in France for several years, had been flagged as a risk for intent to travel to Syria, but there had been no official reason to open an investigation.
He'd been noticed wishing to go to Syria. There were investigations by the intelligence services.
Much like the Boston Marathon bombers, on law enforcement's radar screen, but not to the level that would justify any sort of ongoing surveillance.
The suspect is believed to have murdered this 32-year-old mother, found shot to death shortly before his arrest. Police say he chose her at random because he wanted to steal her car.
The suspect remains in the hospital with a leg wound. His name has not yet been released. They say he is not cooperating with authorities, who are still trying to track down any potential co-conspirators. Police have already arrested one person believed to be acquainted with him.
President Obama tonight under fire for his refusal so far to acknowledge the Armenian genocide. Local Congressman Adam Schiff took part at a Capitol Hill service today honoring victims of the genocide.
George Tutunjian, Harutsun Minassian.
This Friday will mark the 100th anniversary of the beginning of the Armenian genocide. 1.5 million Armenians were killed by the Ottoman Turks during and after World War I. Turkey refuses to acknowledge it, and the White House says President Obama will not be using the word genocide during any appearances this week.
Up next, why one man is keeping an eye on his daughter's walk to school with a drone.
Plus, wild video police in a dangerous pursuit of a bank robber on a freeway, and see how it all came to an end.
And he should have just called tech support. Tonight we're hearing from a man who gunned down his computer.
Sandra Bullock gets a new honor, so why is she calling it ridiculous? I'm George Pinocchio. That's in tonight's Hollywood Wrap. Plus, why Ben Affleck is apologizing for something he tried to keep under wraps. Next.
Police in Michigan released dashcam video from a high-speed chase that ended with the capture of 2 men suspected in a series of bank robberies. It took several attempts before officers were able to stop the getaway van. One suspect ran from the scene, but police with guns drawn were able to catch up to him. He was taken down with a taser. The cash from the robberies and the weapons used were recovered in the van. Most of us have gotten mad at our computer at some point. One guy got so mad he put 8 bullets in his, and he's in a little trouble over it. You might have heard about him. Lucas Hinch runs a store in Colorado Springs selling herbs, teas, and the like. As with most businesses, orders and shipping information are all stored in a computer, and when it stopped working, he took it all out in the alley and shot it.
You get that blue screen of death, and this computer, I don't know what possessed me. I mean, it was just, you know, I wasn't out of my mind or anything. I just had it. I'd recently purchased a new firearm, and I thought, hey, I never even tried it out. And I made the poor decision to try it out on the Dell, the computer. Immediately after doing so, I felt that I'd gone a little too far. I did.
Police cited him for firing a gun within city limits, and he has to appear in court and will probably end up paying a fine.
Firearm worked and the computer didn't. Makes total sense to me. A Tennessee father has come up with a unique way to watch over his 8-year-old daughter. Chris Early, who owns a video production company in Knoxville, thought it was time for his daughter Katie to walk to school by herself. Well, not exactly by herself. Chris is using a drone to hover over Katie to make sure she's safe.
It was just kind of a thing just to kind of keep an eye on, just make sure she was looking both ways, let her know that Daddy's always watching.
I was like, wow. He didn't tell me then, and so I was pretty surprised.
Chris says the drone is only an experiment, and he won't do it every day. Katie says she has no problem with it, even if some others think it might be a little bit overprotective.
No problem yet.
Right. When she's a teenager,
in a few years,
there
that
will
might
be a big problem.
All right, well, let's go to Jonathan now to check on weather.
The drone by the two at dinner, she's on her first date, and the dad's watching. I can see that happening. Just a third party. All right, live Megadolphins 7000 HD. I just find that funny. A few showers out there today, even some lightning strikes again, some storms around the Southland. Now, this wasn't as busy as it was yesterday in regards to the storm activity. We had more lightning strikes and some hail yesterday. But today, nevertheless, still some rain, and we'll take it. Tomorrow, I think we're actually going to see some things fire up a little bit in the afternoon time. Right now, Big Bear, and right when we bring it to the current image, take it off the loop and bring it to right now, and you see that there's a little bit of light snow or light rain right around your area, and off to the west as well. Some showers that are trying to hang on as they head just slowly to the southwest towards Santa Barbara. And then Frazier Park, this is a storm. You see a couple of strikes here of lightning that's been holding on the last 25, 30 minutes, and it looks like it's on its way out. And that's going to be the trend for tonight, on its way out, the rain. Tomorrow we'll bring it back for another day, and I think it'll probably be the best day for some stronger activity over certain portions of the area. This, by the way, is a beautiful time-lapse, Angeles National Forest, from a little bit earlier, and the current image is just fantastic. Wow, I love it when you get the clouds out, and this time of year, you know, it's a little bit late in the game to be getting some rain, so beautiful shots for this point in April. 69 was our high today in downtown, right? So 73 is our normal. We're below average. You know, it's been kind of cool out there. Awesome weather, if you ask me. I love this stuff, and it's going to be like that for a couple more days before we start warming it back up. So enjoy it, I'd say, through at least Friday, maybe a little bit on Saturday. Right now, it is 62 downtown. It'll be another cool jacket kind of night. 62 Ontario, 64 in Hemet, and at the coast, pretty much the same story, 64 in Long Beach and 60 in Santa Monica and Oxnard. So an area of low pressure, you see right here at the bottom of your screen, that has basically been rotating around and giving us that lift and that energy here in Southern California. It'll do that for tomorrow for another day of some spotty activity and maybe some storms. And then I think by Friday, we're kind of wrapping things up here. So let me show you the future rainfall forecast. This is as we head through Thursday at noon. And you see the chance of rain pretty much what we've seen the last couple of days in terms of the location. But watch what happens here around 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Some storms firing up around Riverside, up toward the Big Bear area, down to the south, all the way into toward the east of San Diego. I think we could see, they could even see some shower activity. For the evening time tomorrow, it wraps up, and that's probably going to do it for this week. We might see an isolated shower on Friday, but I think overall tomorrow will be the last gasp for some of this rain from this area low pressure. And by the way, another cool one, as I mentioned, only about 65 in Encino, 70 in Los Angeles. The 7-day forecast shows that you got that again, the nice cool weather on Friday, 68. And then the weekend, we start the warm-up. 76 on Sunday. Next week into the 80s. Like that, we are back into the spring swing of things, I guess. The Valley's IE, your forecast looks cool and cloudy and a little rainy the next 2 days, and then into the 80s by Sunday, into the 90s by next week. The beach is cloudy with a slim risk of a couple of showers making it your way. I don't think you'll see much really the next couple of days. Just a low-end chance, 10-20%. The mountains, you might see more lightning tomorrow with breezes kicking up, highs only at 49 for Thursday, Friday, and then the high desert is looking like a nice forecast once you get into the weekend. Just got to deal with some clouds and some slight chances of rain the next couple of days. But it's good news. We like the rain.
Okay, Jonathan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In tonight's Hollywood Wrap, a beautiful response to an honor bestowed on Sandra Bullock.
Plus, an Oscar winner says he is sorry, and here's George Finocchio with all the details.
Okay, thanks very much. Actor Ben Affleck is apologizing for asking the TV program Finding Your Roots to delete the detail that he had a slave-owning ancestor. Affleck apologized via a Facebook post, saying he is embarrassed for asking the program to edit out the discovery that one of his ancestors had owned slaves. Affleck wrote, "I regret my initial thoughts that the issue of slavery not be included in the story. We deserve neither credit nor blame for our ancestors." PBS is now launching an internal review because the decision not to include the information may have violated its standards. The old adage, "it's a man's world," is quickly becoming obsolete. Now some familiar faces are joining the push to make it fair even faster.
Out of 13 new plays on Broadway last year, only 13. Only 13.
So only 13 were written by men.
And it's not just showbiz. Men make up only 80% of Congress.
Rita Wilson was among the 70 entertainment industry professionals in this PSA spoof for hashtag Make It Fair. The video calls for gender equality, and it's gone viral. Two of the women behind the project are not surprised it's catching on.
I feel like it is absolutely vital that these facts are out there, and it's so exciting that the package for them is so kind of entertaining and accessible.
I think it also speaks to how much these facts are resonating with people and how surprised people are and how galvanized they are to do something about it.
Aside from starring all women, the video was conceived, written, directed, shot, edited, scored, and produced by women in showbiz. The hashtag Make It Fair has been trending on social media all day. Finally, I figured this one out the first time I interviewed Sandra Bullock. It took People magazine more than 20 years to come to the same conclusion. Sandra Bullock is beautiful, inside and out. The magazine named her 2015's World's Most Beautiful Woman. Bullock, who's now 50, says she laughed when she heard about the honor, calling it ridiculous. The mother of 5-year-old son Louis told People, "Real beauty is quiet. Be a good person. Be a good mom. Do a good job with the lunch. Let someone cut in front of you who looks like they're in a bigger hurry. The people I find most beautiful," she says, "are the ones who aren't trying." That is tonight's Hollywood Wrap. David, Rudabeh?
Sounds like a nice person.
She is.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you,
thanks,
George. Up next, Google is now in the wireless phone business, but will it work with your phone?
Plus, how a simple Uber ride turned into a $16,000 tab. We're hearing from the exasperated customer.
And catching a shark may seem like a daring feat, but it's actually hurting the ocean ecosystem. And now, what's being done to prevent shark poaching?
Okay. Let me know if you hear, he's fired up. Let me know if you hear.
Yes,
Okay,
awesome, way better.
They're going to figure
That
out
is
which one.
So much better. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Google is offering a new wireless phone service. It's called Project Fi and will cost $20 per month, and only charge customers for the amount of the cellular data that they use each month instead of a flat rate. The service is designed to pressure major carriers such as AT&T and Verizon Wireless into lowering their prices. Google's service initially will be available only on the Nexus 6, a Motorola phone made with Google's help.
Many people find ride-sharing to be a cheaper alternative to taxi or limo service, but try telling that to one Uber user in New York. Jamie Hessel took an Uber from Brooklyn to Midtown Manhattan back in March. She said the driver got lost and took her all over the place, so she complained to Uber, who said it would refund her $15. But 3 weeks later, she was emailed a $16,000 bill. She says it wasn't until her story was posted on Reddit that the company responded.
All of a sudden, Uber calls me, like an hour and a half later, personally, finally, calling me and, trying to apologize. And I asked them, how could I get charged $16,000? And they're just like, oh, it was a clerical error. Someone, put a decimal point in the wrong place.
Uber has apologized and provided a full refund. It also says she was never charged the $16,000 and that the error was fixed the day it was discovered.
Wow. Okay. We're updating the evening's top stories next at 7:30.
Raids today in the Inland Empire, city of Beaumont. That includes warrants served on City Hall. What investigators are saying tonight.
Plus new allegations of police brutality. A violent arrest is caught on video, and now the family of the man arrested is suing the LAPD.
live from ABC7. This is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Top story at 7:30. A suspect has been arrested and charged in connection to the alleged kidnapping and sexual assault of a 2-year-old girl. I'm David Ono.
I'm Ruta Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. The girl was taken from a self-serve car wash in Gardena earlier this month. Police today announced a 36-year-old Michael David Eichler of Torrance was arrested on April 9th. Investigators say the girl was snatched from the back seat of her mother's car and was found 2 hours later. Police say tips from the public helped lead to the arrest.
A manhunt is underway for a suspect who stabbed a man to death today just off of busy Hollywood Boulevard. It happened in the 1700 block of Cherokee Avenue. The victim found near a parked car is described to be in his mid-20s. Detectives say the suspect stabbed the victim to death during an altercation. Police are seeking the suspect and 2 others. Investigators say the getaway vehicle is a brown Ford F-150 pickup truck with North Carolina license plate number of CLJ 5472.
FBI agents raid Beaumont City Hall and a consulting firm that has done business with the city for years. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan has details from City Hall.
No, it's not moving day at Urban Logic Consultants in Beaumont. This is a raid by the FBI and the Riverside County DA's office. Boxes, hard drives, file cabinets, all of it loaded onto a U-Haul truck.
Definitely glad to see this. It's been a long time coming.
Beyond happy. Absolutely beyond happy.
Resident Barbara Brown says there's been corruption going on between the city and Urban Logic for years.
Basically, it's like Bell Revisited, only it's way out in the suburbs.
How would you describe these people who work for this place?
Evil. I call this little section right here the nest of thieves.
Resident Judy Bingham says she's been following this issue closely for more than 10 years, even setting up the website beaumontgate.org.
It's wrong to steal from the taxpayers.
Records show the city of Beaumont has contracted with Urban Logic since 1993, doing all the planning, public works, and economic development for the city.
They are recommending that all the growth in the city, and at the same time, they are making a profit from that growth. It's called a conflict of interest.
Several agents also raided City Hall. During that time, it was closed to the public. The state flag covered the area where the agents were working. A spokesperson for the Riverside County DA's office told us, quote, "I can confirm that warrants have been served as part of an ongoing investigation. No arrests have been made at this time."
Pretty simple. They need to go to prison for the rest of their lives.
Now, in addition to the search warrants served at Urban Logic and Beaumont City Hall, there were 2 other places in Riverside County where search warrants were served. One was in Temecula. The other was a home in Palm Desert. Eyewitness News has learned it's the home of the Beaumont city manager. In Beaumont, Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Calls placed to Urban Logic have not been returned, and an official at the city of Beaumont had no comment today.
The Orange County Board of Supervisors is formally calling for the resignation of an OC judge who dramatically reduced the sentence of a convicted child rapist. The board voted 5-0 to endorse a harsh rebuke of Judge M. Mark Kelly's decision, saying it has no confidence in his ability to fairly administer the laws of California. Kelly reduced the sentence of 20-year-old Kevin Rojano Nieto from 25 years to just 10 years after he was convicted of raping a 3-year-old girl. Kelly is an elected official, and the board has no power to actually remove him.
An Arrow Bear man is under arrest today, accused of molesting a young neighbor. Detectives arrested 18-year-old Gary Friley after the 10-year-old boy told a friend's family about the alleged abuse. That family alerted the boy's mother, who contacted the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. Friley was taken into custody yesterday and is being held on $500,000 bail.
The family of a homeless man in Venice is planning to sue the LAPD, claiming officers repeatedly targeted and abused him. The latest incident in which he was tased was caught on cell phone video, and Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes has the video and reaction from the man's family.
The video shows a handful of LAPD officers tasing Sam Arrington, then arresting him at Venice Beach last August. Arrington's family says the 52-year-old homeless man is mentally ill and has been targeted by LAPD over the past 4 years.
He's been tased and beaten, and the video speaks for itself.
Nazareth Haysbert is an attorney for Arrington and his family. They're preparing to file a federal lawsuit against the Los Angeles Police Department. He says this confrontation is just the latest of 4 violent run-ins with LAPD officers. The first left Arrington with 18 staples in his head. Another led to a shoulder injury. And in the third, officers tased Arrington. Then came this arrest after Arrington refused to sign a misdemeanor citation.
They should have de-escalated the confrontation, not continue it, not escalated it with a man who was known to at least 2 of those officers was a man with a mental disability.
Sam Arrington, not part of today's announcement. His sister Cleo says Sam wouldn't have handled being on camera well. But the recording of his tasing and arrest, she says, demonstrates that police don't know how to deal with the mentally ill.
I saw the video and I was repulsed by it. I was shaken to my core that the LAPD would strip away his humanity, and that's what they've done to my brother.
But at Venice Beach, vendors like Vivian Robinson say the problem they've noticed most isn't police brutality, but police absence.
When I do see them, they're not violent, but they need to be here a little more often.
We reached out to the Los Angeles Police Department multiple times by phone and email, but have not heard back. Meantime, the Arrington's attorney say he hopes this case will help protect the mentally ill and homeless population.
We also want to expose police misuse of power with regards to the most vulnerable people in our population, in our society.
The family's attorney says he'll be filing that federal lawsuit shortly. He refused to say, however, how much they would be seeking in damages. In Del Air, Rob Hayes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
PETA is offering a $5,000 reward to help catch the culprits responsible for stealing a baby sea lion from Dockweiler State Beach. The pup has still not been found. An eyewitness reported seeing 2 men and 2 women in their 20s taunting and harassing 2 sea lion pups at the beach around 3 a.m. Sunday. Police say they put 1 pup in their car and drove away in a black Honda Civic with California license plate with 5 and 6 as the last 2 numbers. The other pup was treated by Animal Services. Anyone with information can call police at 1-877-LAPD 24/7. That's 1-877-527-3247.
Tonight, protecting sharks from poachers in the waters off of Southern California. Eyewitness News reporter Greg Lee tells us human predators are threatening not only the sharks, but the fragile marine ecosystem.
The coastal waters in Southern California serve a valuable role this time of year, a nursery for several different species of shark babies, or pups.
These areas are great places for young sharks to grow, develop, and to be able to reach maturity.
Dr. Chris Lowe is the director of the Shark Lab at Cal State Long Beach. He and his students track and study sharks in our area. Dr. Lowe says recent observations show growing numbers of great white sharks, the top of the ocean's food chain. A good sign for the ecosystem.
There's never really been a lot of them, but they serve critical roles in keeping our coastal oceans healthy.
But poachers are threatening that balance. The Department of Fish and Wildlife reports some amateur fishermen are targeting shark pups. The wardens say the fishermen treat great white sharks as trophies and often sell leopard sharks on the black market.
So when you have somebody who's going out there intentionally changing the way that it's set up just for their own personal entertainment, I think it's sick.
The department is asking for the public's help to catch and stop these poachers. Catching these pups is considered a misdemeanor, punishable by a $1,000 fine or 6 months in jail. But more than that, Dr. Lowe says these actions could cause serious damage to a recovering ocean.
We're the stewards of these resources. We're the beneficiaries of these resources. And when people do this illegally, all they're doing is hurting everyone in California.
If you see a poacher, you're asked to call and report them at 1-888-334-CAL-TIP. That's 1-888-334-2258. Reporting in Long Beach, Greg Lee, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Visitors to Venice Beach could soon be seeing a bit more skin from sunbathers. The Venice Neighborhood Council voted 12-2 to ask the LA City Council to let women sunbathe topless, saying women should be afforded the same rights as men who aren't required to wear tops. Neighborhood officials say Venice was designed around the European culture of Venice, Italy, where topless sunbathing is common. The LA Municipal Code currently prohibits going topless.
Interesting. Up next, we know medical marijuana has been useful in treating a number of ailments in humans.
But now, see how vets are also using cannabis to treat some older pets.
Plus, where this volcano has blown its top, sending hundreds of residents scrambling.
Jonathan Novak here. More rain in the forecast. I'll detail storm chances and the weekend ahead coming up in your 7 days. Stick around.
The debate over medical marijuana for humans has been going on for years, and now it's legal in more than 20 states.
But could cannabis also help our cats and canines? Health specialist Denise Dedor brings us this story.
16-year-old Pepper has always been playful.
She loves everybody. She explores everything.
But arthritis recently slowed down this active cat.
It was causing her to not want to jump up on the couch or up on the chair.
13-year-old Sadie isn't as spunky as she used to be either.
We think she probably has a brain tumor at this point.
She has pain, vision loss, and frequent seizures.
She's perfectly happy otherwise.
But Pepper and Sadie's owners have a secret feel-better ingredient they add to their pet's food. It's pot, but it isn't about getting high.
It is physiologically impossible to get high with our product.
Veterinarian Sarah Brandon sells organic hemp to pet owners. The product contains less than 0.3% THC, which is what causes a marijuana high. Hemp can relieve pain, increase appetite, improve allergies, and slow seizures in pets.
Their pets feel good again, and that's why we did. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this.
There are side effects such as feeling lethargic, loose stools, and rarely vomiting. Some critics argue there's not enough research in animals to know what doses are safe, but Brandon says she's only seen positive results and even takes the hemp herself.
Dogs get theirs, I get mine, we get up the next morning and we're more comfortable for the next day's hike.
The hemp has helped Pepper get back to her active self.
She was able to jump on things, she started playing.
And Sadie suffers from fewer seizures.
We noticed the difference right away.
An unlikely treatment that these owners say made all the difference for their furry companions. The hemp capsules can be opened and sprinkled on a pet's food, and because the capsules contain less than 0.3% of THC and is sold for non-human consumption, the product is legal under U.S. federal law. In the newsroom, Denise Dedor, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Meteorologist Jonathan Novak looks ahead to the weekend forecast up next.
Plus, we'll tell you why this was an important day for thousands of former NFL players suffering from concussion-related illnesses.
And now that the city of Carson has approved plans for a new football stadium, what will it take to get the NFL here? Dramatic video. A massive volcanic eruption in Chile is spewing smoke and ash miles into the sky. This is the Calbuco volcano in southern Chile near the tourist town of Puerto Varas. It began erupting earlier today. About 1,500 people have been evacuated. It's the first time the volcano has erupted in at least 4 decades. It's considered one of the top 3 most dangerous active volcanoes in the country.
They got about 90 of them there. Another one, about March 3rd, had a brief eruption.
I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so that's scary stuff. For us, we're just hoping for some
Maybe
rain.
a little rain?
We would just like
a few
some
droplets of rain?
That's all we want. We don't need a volcano. We just want some showers. The mountains, you've gotten some storms, in fact, the last 48 hours. And right now, that live mega Doppler 7000 HD, we can see some, well, activity. It's just trying to hang on. But it's going to be fizzling away, so to speak, tonight. Actually, in the next couple hours here, and we'll have clouds rolling back into Southern California. A little bit of, well, like snow, it looks like, there by Big Bear Lake, Wrightwood as well. And that's been ongoing here for a little while here, the last couple hours. And some light rain that's been taking its time. This was a storm that was northeast of Frazier Park, now dying off, and a little bit of shower activity that also has been hanging on northeast of Santa Barbara. So that's the story now. Tonight will dry out. Tomorrow, what will happen tomorrow? It looks like we'll have another bout of shower activity. The question will be how much and where. Well, it looks like same spots as you saw today, but maybe stronger. This is a downtown shot, by the way, so you can see that sunshine mixed in with the cloud cover. Laguna Beach, oh, we just lost it there. 60 degrees right now at Laguna Beach, 62 in Burbank. Not a huge spread with the temperatures right now at the moment. It's 61 in Santa Clarita, 60 in Oxnard, and currently 64 in Fullerton. So generally, that's going to be the rule tonight. Very similar from the coast inland to the LA area and even down toward San Clemente and Riverside. Tomorrow, temperatures are going to be about the same, below average. The cloud cover will be about the same. The change will be the intensity of the storm activity relative to today, at least. This area of low pressure is making its way through Southern California slowly, so it's going to hang on for another day, day and a half. And tomorrow, I think we'll see some storms pop up anywhere from about Big Bear south, and you'll see that right here in the future rainfall forecast. Check it out on Thursday, about 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Shower activity starts developing. This is some light rain possible. Similar locations, the mountain areas, maybe a couple of those showers drifting into the Antelope Valley. In the northern counties, we could see some drift south towards Santa Barbara. And this is that storm activity right here I've been talking about 5 p.m., maybe some stronger storms that we saw today and about what we saw yesterday. Then I think we're pretty much done with it. Friday, we could see a lingering shower around Wrightwood, but I think we're pretty much, it's the end of the game for this week. So, the 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County powered up by AccuWeather. 2 more days of cool, cloudy stuff, and then the weekend, a little breezy on Saturday, but we are warming up on Sunday, Monday into the 80s. Into the 90s in the valleys by Monday, but you got 2 days here, Thursday and Friday, where you're still in the 60s with a 20% chance of rain. The chances are very low at the coast, only 10-20%. It's going to be a cool day tomorrow and Friday. It's the mountains here in your 7-day have the better chance tomorrow for some storms to develop. Highs only in the upper 40s. You're getting back into the 60s by Sunday. And the high desert, maybe a sprinkle or two tomorrow and Friday as well. Temperatures back in the 70s for the weekend. That's it for me. Back to you guys.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Greg Hardy played only 1 game for the Carolina Panthers last season, sitting on the commissioner's exempt list for 15 games. Today, Hardy, now a Dallas Cowboy, was suspended 10 games by the league for violating the personal conduct policy. Hardy, who signed a 1-year deal with the Cowboys, will appeal the decision. Last July, Hardy was found guilty of assaulting a former girlfriend, Nicole Holder, and threatening to kill her, and sentenced to a 60-day suspended sentence and 18 months probation on misdemeanor charges. He appealed the judge's ruling in favor of a jury trial, and the case was dismissed in February when Holder chose not to cooperate with authorities after receiving a settlement from Hardy. A federal judge has approved the concussion lawsuit settlement between the NFL and thousands of former players. Judge Anita Brody rejected the original deal between the two sides, saying $765 million wasn't enough money. The final version has no cap on the amount the league will have to pay out for valid claims. The 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals reversed Barry Bond's obstruction of justice conviction. They ruled his meandering answer before a grand jury in 2003 was not material to the government's investigation into steroids distribution. Bond's baseball career home run leader was indicted in 2007 for his testimony 4 years earlier before the grand jury investigating the Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative. And 10 days remain until the Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao mega fight. Not one single ticket has been sold, but that's about to change. The two champs finally reached a deal that will allow tickets in closed-circuit locations around Las Vegas to go on sale. Ticket sales are expected to generate $74 million, and Manny Pacquiao will be on Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight after Eyewitness News at 11 p.m.
The Carson City Council is ready for some football. The council approved plans to build a pro stadium already. Eyewitness News reporter Mark Cota-Robles looks at what's going to get the NFL to play there.
Football is coming to Carson.
A unanimous vote Tuesday night by Carson City Council to approve plans to build a $1.7 billion stadium alongside the 405 freeway, a stadium that could become the shared home to the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders.
There isn't a site anywhere in Southern California that has greater freeway access than our site.
Carson Mayor Albert Robles recently met with NFL's leadership during a visit to Los Angeles and says much of what happens next depends on decisions made by the team owners and the league.
I know it's assumed that if they pick the Rams, that the Rams are going to Inglewood, but that's not necessarily true. The NFL will decide what stadium site is going to be used, and what team or teams are going to come to Los Angeles.
I contacted the NFL. They said the Los Angeles committee, comprised of 6 team owners, is meeting today in New York. The Chargers, Raiders, and the St. Louis Rams are all making presentations at that meeting. According to the NFL, a relocation proposal from any of those teams could be presented by the end of this year and would then require the support from at least 24 of the 32 teams in the league.
LA is ready for this. We ready. You know, I'm glad this is happening.
Mayor Robles says if his city is chosen, the stadium will be privately funded.
The one thing we know for sure is that zero monies are coming from Carson's general fund. Zero. None.
There will be updated reports and more discussion at the NFL spring meeting scheduled for May 19th and 20th in San Francisco. We're told that all owners are scheduled to be there. Reporting from Carson, I'm Mark Cota-Robles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
More news straight ahead here at 7:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. A motorcycle rider wearing a helmet cam catches a frightening scene on a Southland highway. Another cyclist runs him off the road and leaves the scene. Tonight, the search for the hit-and-run driver. Plus, a pregnant fast food worker is fired because she won't pay back money stolen during a robbery. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Celebrating the 45th annual Earth Day at Cal State University Dominguez Hills, students and staff took part in a variety of events friendly to the environment, and they included hosting an e-waste collection event with reusable components used to refurbish computers. The Southeast Community Development Corporation offers them, along with low-cost internet to low-income people. Students also sold native and drought-tolerant plants.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 on LA56. Law and Order SCU is next.